Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's topic is Rumi in Europe and America. Lately, Rumi's poetry has gained popularity in the USA and has become the bestseller. The writer of Rumi's Secret, Mr. Brad Goosh, has traveled to Tajikistan, the birthplace of Rumi, to Samarkand, Iran, Syria, and Turkey in order to write Rumi's life story. He says he is a poet of joy and love. His work comes out of dealing with the separation from Shams and from love and the source of creation, and out of facing death. Rumi's message cuts through and communicates. Rumi is a very mysterious and provocative poet and figure for our time as we grapple with understanding the Sufi tradition, understanding the nature of ecstasy and devotion and the power of poetry, says poet Anne Waldman. Across time, place, and culture, Rumi's poems articulate what it feels like to be alive, says Lee Brichetti, executive director of Poets House, Atlanta. And they help us understand our own search for love and the ecstatic in the coil of daily life. She compares Rumi's work to Shakespeare for its resonance and beauty. In America, Kohlberg has introduced Rumi with his versified translation from Rumi's poetry. About 2 million books are sold away. However, Reynold Nicholson, the full translation of 6 volumes of Mathnawi, cannot be ignored. He had rendered the work in Old English, which bars his popularity. Mathnawi is full of tough metaphoric expressions and need good study of Central Asian Persian. As for the versified translation of the work, it's not possible to narrate the real melody and depth of the Persian poetry. As Rumi says, Har kasi az zann khud shud jawr man, az darun man najust israr man. Everyone became my friend, but none tried to discover my inner secrets. Beside the great translation of Mathnawi, Nicholson has tried in his book, Rumi, Poet and Mystic, to translate Rumi's 119 poems in the versified form. Let's have a short look at the Quranic and Muhammad sayings, which are the root of the Mathnawi and are behind a curtain in the Western translations. Nicholson and Coleman translation of the first 2 lines of the 18 verses goes like this. Vishnu innay chun shikayat mikunad از جدایی حکایت می کند که از نیستان تا مرا ببریدند در نفیرم مردودن نالیدند. Hearken to this reed forlorn, breathing even since it was torn from its rushy bed, a strain of impassioned love and pain. And Nicholson's plain translation is, like the reed, how it tells a tale. Listen to the reed, how it tells a tale, complaining of separation, saying, ever since I was parted from the reed bed, my lament hath caused men and women to moan. And now let's have a look at Coleman's translation. Listen to the story told by the reed of being separated. Since I was cut from the reed bed, I have made this crying sound. Nicholson and Coleman have missed the demonstrative pronoun "een," which stands for this, where Rumi includes himself as a created man to share the separation from the Creator, God, who according to the Holy Quran had breathed into the man when created. So the breath in the flute is that breath which feels sorry for the separation and moans. Nistan, which in Persian means the reed land is the spot where God stood close by, where the reed enjoyed Lord's company. And that separation now is felt by the flute. Worse is the situation of Diwan-e-Kabir, with more than 50,000 verses. No reliable critical edition has been made available yet. However, 85% of the poem seems to belong to Rumi especially with the pseudonym Khamosh. Some scholars have depended on the wrong MSSs of Mathnawi, and especially Diwan, found in India and Iran. We have this verse widely used by the Western scholar. What can be done, so Muslims? I don't know myself. I'm neither a Muslim nor Hindu, nor from the land, nor from the sea. Of course, come again. Also, this quatrain is not available in good manuscripts. These points I have explained in my book, The Essence of Rumi's Mathnawi, published by the Ministry of Culture in Turkey and by Jamhuri Publications in Pakistan. American media is also in love with Rumi. Madonna's songs are good examples. David Franzoni's views are worth reading. Franzoni said, he is like a Shakespeare. He's a character who has enormous talent and worth to his society and his people, and obviously resonates today. These people are always worth exploring. The first to introduce Rumi in Europe were R.A. Nicholson, A.G. Arbery, Anna Maria Schimmel, Eve de Vitrae Merovich, and Ritter. In their works, the real heat of divine love of God and true trust is dim. Let us have a look on a short versified poem translated by Nicholson. عاشقی پیداست از زاری دل نیست بیماری چو بیماری دل علت عشق ز علتهای جداست عشق استرلاب اسرار خداست. In his heartache lays the lover's patient bare, no sickness with heart sickness may compare. Love is melody apart, this sign cast, an astrolabe of mysteries divine. And he continues, Ishq garzi sar o garza on sar sarast, akabat mara badan sar rahbarast. Akl dar sar sharhash chu khar dar gul bekhuf, shar ishq o ashqi ham ishq guf. Whether of heavenly mold or earthly cast, love still doth lead us yonder at the last. Reason explaining love can not but flounder, like ass in mire, love is love's own expounder. And آفتاب آمد دلیل آفتاب گر دلیلت باید از وی رو متاب. Does not the sun himself, the sun declare, behold him, all the proof thou seekst is there. Now my commentary, very short one. The most difficult task is to render versified translation from poem to poem. Persian is a rich language with poetical metaphors, especially that of Rumi. The heading, the hierophant, does not exist in the original text. Lays the lover's patient bare could be love is exposed due to the whining of the pain of heart. Love is melody apart. This sign cast could be written in more simple English. Astrolabe of mysteries divine could be as a detector of divine mysteries. Instead of flounder, slapped, expounder could be defender. The sun is the proof of itself. If you need a proof, don't turn your face from it, is close in translation of the verse, of course. The sun has double meaning, Shams-e Tabrizi and God himself. Other Orientalists who are inspired by Rumi are William Chittick, who can be appreciated for his great work, The Sufi Path of Knowledge and the Self-Disclosure of God, But his Me and Rumi is a sheer translation of the Iranian scholar Muhammad Ali Muhammadi, Makalat Shams Tabrizi, without any comments and explanations. Coleman, a fine poet of America, has translated some of Rumi's poems in free verse, having 27 chapters. He has not shown the sources of the verses, though, but has appealed to the taste of the Americans. Rumi's depth of spiritual feeling is not so bright. One important point is that the Western scholars have taken Eflaki Dede's The Legends of the Gnostics as a true historical document. It was composed about 90 years after the death of Rumi, depending on the legends and tales. Finally, our A.G. Arbery Discourses of Rumi, Lewis Franklin's Rumi, Past and Present, are wonderful books, but they lack Rumi's Islamic enthusiasm based on the Quran and Hadiths. In addition to all these publications, the annual magazine published by University of Exeter, London, is worth mentioning. I wish we could publish such a magazine from Konya because we have all the real sources available. Thank you.